Good evening once again, people. It's Charlie and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope that your weekend is going great so far. It's time for your match preview ahead of Leeds against Aston Villa. That's happening at Elland Road tomorrow afternoon. Just before we get into it, smash that like button. Please subscribe. Share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below as you always do. And yeah, we'll get into it then. Leeds against Villa, a game that over the years has been a tasty one. It's always quite feisty. It's always a little bit tense, I would say, whether it's at Villa Park or at Elland Road. Obviously, the one's at Elland Road tomorrow, which I think is a huge bonus for Leeds United. I think the last 3 games without a win, just 1 point in 9, means that Leeds United are a little bit, I won't say under pressure. And I don't want to call it a must-win game, but it does kind of feel like that. Because I think when you look at the next run of fixtures, we've got Crystal Palace away next week, which is not an easy place to go. I think if we can get 3 points against Villa tomorrow and then maybe a point against Palace, I think I would be very happy with that. Because then we go into a home game against Arsenal, who are looking really, really good at the minute. So, it's one of them, isn't it? I feel like anything less than 3 points will be a huge disappointment tomorrow. But let's just talk about Aston Villa briefly. Obviously, they're not having the best of times either. I think they're currently towards the bottom of the bottom half. Steven Gerrard seems like he's hit a little bit of a bad spell. A lot of the Villa fans apparently are not happy with him. I think he's on borrowed time at the minute. I think a poor game against Leeds United tomorrow and then potentially another defeat or another poor game in the next one, and I do think Gerrard could be out of a job, which is mad to think because he did so well at Rangers. He came over to Aston Villa. He really did turn them around last season, which is why, they've made some good acquisitions. Diego Carlos, who I know is injured for pretty much the season now, but Diego Carlos, Boubacar Kamara, and obviously the added quality that they've already got, the likes of Dean, Douglas Luiz, Ollie Watkins, Danny Ings, and of course Philippe Coutinho. So there is quality there, but a big plus for Leeds United is the fact that Cash, obviously Carlos, and is it Luca Dean, are all out of the game against Leeds United. So defensively, they are going to be weaker. You're probably going to see the likes of Ashley Young, Konza playing there, which isn't great from a Villa point of view, but it's great from a Leeds perspective. Hopefully we can target Ashley Young. He is getting older now, and apparently in that awful game against Southampton last time out, Southampton had a lot of joy with Ashley Young. So if Southampton can, then we can definitely have some joy against him as well. I think if he plays right back, you're going to be looking at Jack Harrison on his side. I think Harrison has got the capabilities to have the better of Ashley Young. What we've seen from Aston Villa in previous outings against Leeds United is that they like to make the pitch very wide. It's something that you don't have to be a big football genius to realise. I think because Leeds play so narrowly now under Marsh, Gerrard likes to make the pitch as wide as possible. I mean, they usually play in a diamond, but I think he adapts his tactics for Leeds. And you're probably going to be seeing the likes of Leon Bailey, obviously Coutinho, Jacob Ramsey will be playing in that attacking midfield role, I would imagine. And then either Ings or Ollie Watkins up front, maybe both, because Ollie Watkins has got the ability to play out wide as well. So it will be interesting to see how Steven Gerrard sets up with the defensive frailties that he's got at the minute. But from a Leeds United perspective, look, I spoke about it in my predicted 11 last night. I think if we can change our back four, even if it's Pascal at left back still, and even just throwing Coops in over Diego Llorente, I do think we will be defensively more solid. I think we have got the capabilities to cope with Aston Villa, and let's be honest, it can't be any worse than the last Leeds Aston Villa game at Elland Road, where I left Elland Road that night adamant that we were going to be relegated. That was probably the first time all of last season that it hit me that we could go down. It was that bad. I think it was Marsh's first home game as well, which, wasn't great for him, but no one turned up that night. I want to see a little bit of fight, or in fact, not a little bit. I want to see a lot of fight, a lot of hunger, determination. And we owe them a bit of revenge. Chelsea beat us 3-0 towards the end of last season. We beat them 3-0 earlier on in the season. Let's go out and do a job on them. I think Coutinho kind of it isn't as consistent as what Villa fans like to think he is. I think he goes quiet in games a lot of the time. I know that could come back to bite me on the arse a bit, but he does. I think if we can keep him quiet, if we can nullify his threat, then I think we'll have a lot of joy. I think Adams and Mark Rocker have got the capability to cope with the likes of John McGinn, probably Douglas Luiz as well. That's it as well. Boubacar Kamara is out for Aston Villa as well, which is a big plus for us. A player that has been linked with Leeds United as well, is a really, really good player. So they're kind of losing something in that midfield there. I think Adams has shown that he's up for a fight. Mark Rocker's got the technical passing ability. And I think whoever the front four is, I do think Bamford can cause Aston Villa a lot of problems if he plays. But I also see the advantages of maybe playing Rodrigo further up. It worked for the first few games of the season. He's scored 4 goals for us so far. Sinistera, can't seem to stop scoring at the minute. Let's hope that run continues as well. So, there's a lot of positives. One player that I want to see a bit more of in this game is Brendan Aronson. This isn't me saying that he's been poor or anything. I just think the last 3 games when Leeds haven't looked as on it, I think a huge factor is because teams seem to be targeting Aronson and trying to play him out of the game. Hopefully, we kind of anticipate that, and Marsh has a plan up his sleeve to sort that issue out, because I think Brendan Aronson, if he's given the amount of time and space, I think all of our attacking threat would come through Brendan. And yeah, look, there seems to be like a mini rivalry at the minute with Aston Villa since that game where we had to gift them the goal. I was there that day. It was absolutely bizarre. But anyway, since that day, it's a bit of a feisty affair. Let's just say that. And I think both teams need a win for different reasons. I think Leeds, even if I was trying to think worst case scenario, even if we lose out tomorrow or draw, it's still been an okay start for us. We started the season off well. I think we're probably around where we should be at this point. At the minute, I think we currently sit about 11th to 13th? I haven't checked the table today actually, but somewhere around that bracket. I think that's where we're meant to be at the minute. But Aston Villa need a win, because I think before beating Southampton, and that was a poor game by the way, both teams were poor. Before beating them, I think they'd not had a win in 4. So, they really need a win, and I think Gerrard needs a win to help keep his job a little bit longer as well. So, we'll move into the score prediction then. My score prediction for this is 2-1 Leeds United. I think our defensive vulnerabilities, as much as I do think we will be a bit stronger if we make a certain change, I just think we're not quite where we need to be defensively at this point, so I do think Villa will score. But I just think with the Elland Road crowd, it'll feel like the first game of the season all over again, because it's been that long. I think we'll be up for it. I think the crowd will be, and I just think all that will play a factor, and we will hopefully have too much for them. So that's why I'm going for a 2-1 Leeds United win. So we'll bring the video to a close there, people. I really hope that you've all enjoyed it. If you have, smash that like button. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And I'll see you in my match review after I'm home from the game tomorrow night. I'll see you then. Cheers.